Hey guys, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a 1996 NA Roadster. This is a Eunos Roadster, also known as the Miata, but here in Japan it was known as the Eunos Roadster. And this is a VR Limited Competition B package with a 1.8 liter inline 4-cylinder. The early models came with a 1.6. The later models came with a 1.8 and a larger rear differential with Torsen LSD. I actually don't know if this one is a Torsen, but in Japan the LSDs were very common on these, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was. It was something that was optional, but on a car called the Competition Package, you would expect it to have the Torsen LSD. Okay, just going to switch the engine off. This video is a post-purchase inspection video of a vehicle we bought for somebody for export. This one here bought from the Japanese auctions, as we do with all of these cars. This one's going over to the USA. So engine and everything in here is completely stock. The 1.8 liter puts out 125 horsepower, where the 1.6 was 115, so an extra 10 horsepower, and more broad torque band as well. It's not a ton faster than the 1.6, but it is more desirable of the two generally. It's a twin-cam engine known for extreme reliability. These are commonly used as race cars because of how easy they are to maintain and how reliable the engine is. You can even turbocharge it. In fact, this engine was engineered as a turbocharged engine and then was having the turbo taken off of it in order to be NA for the Roadster. You can get a Roadster or a Mazda Miata with a turbo from factory, which is kind of cool, but they're fairly uncommon, and this is not one of them. This generation of Roadster or Miata with the pop-up headlights never came with the factory turbo. It's only the next generation after this. So the coolant in this one is good. The oil in this one is good, and the pop-up headlights work. The strut tower brace is probably part of the Competition package. Combination. I am not able to read Japanese today. VR Limited Combination B, not competition. Blah. Need to learn how to read Japanese better. Okay, I'll lower the hood. We'll say that the hoods on these Miatas are made out of aluminum, and it is ultra light. They didn't need to do that, but the whole point of this car was to be a lightweight new version of like an English Roadster sports car. And they nailed it. These things are so awesome. In fact, we have one, and it's a race car, and it's a lot of fun. Ours has a lot of work done to it, though. Not very much like this one anymore. Okay, so I'll go ahead and translate this, and I'll just try to block off the sun with my shadow. It's a 96, which is not the final year. I think 97 was the final year. But they started to get these special model versions later on in the lifetime, such as the VR Limited. I'm not sure exactly what the VR Limited comes with, but it's probably this forest green paint that it comes with, the leather seats. Let's quickly show you. Yep. It's leather. The sun is shining out, so it's a little bit hard to see. Seats have speakers in the headrests, which are very rare here in Japan. I know in North America they're not that rare, but in Japan they are. You get aluminum scuff plates and speaker scuff plates, which is very cool. And you get a surround for the shifter and aluminum this and this shift knob and e-brake handle. I think that's all that was in this package. Maybe the hardtop was part of the package as well. Not an awfully rare thing. Like, it is one of 800 made, but they also made like the V Limited 1 and the V Limited 2, and then 2 versions of each one of those. And lots of special models of the Miata. You tend to pay more for them, but they're not that special, but people tend to pay more, so they're special enough for that. Anyway, back to this. 16810 kilometers is rather high for a vehicle, but it is an older vehicle and it's known to be reliable, so I really wouldn't worry about that too much. It's a 5-speed manual, auction rate 3.5, interior B. Sales points are purchased from user, first time at auction. Only 800 units made. Comes with the hardtop and the original in there. Sadly, the original has rips in it, so you won't be able to use it. Aluminum shift knob and e-brake handle. Aluminum shift knob, parking lever, aluminum shift plate. Pardon me. Okay, body color, excellent green mica. Okay, body color is excellent green mica. Sounds Excellent. Steering wheel peeling. This is the report section from the inspector. All of the other stuff was from the seller. Dashboard cracked and comes up. The seat has a wrinkle and ripped in it. And underside scratched and dented. Very small scratches, small dents, and repair marks. Hard top has uneven paint. And then A2 on the front bumper, W2 on the hood, W2 on the wing. Paint crack here, which I couldn't find. AU3 on the sill, and an A2 in the back. And everything on the car seems to match that. So let's have a once around, and I'll show you the details of the body damage in a second here. Okay, you're not seeing a ton of the NA Roadsters here in Japan, and many of them here have been modified. It's not uncommon to find one that is turbocharged at auction, if that's what you're looking for. But I feel like most of the turbocharged Miatas are better done outside of Japan. They use ancient kits here that haven't really been developed since 2002. In my opinion, though, a stock... hold that thought for a second. This one comes with a Bilstein upgraded suspension, which was a thing on the V Limiteds as well. And as I was right about to say, stock condition, especially with the Bilstein suspension, these things are more fun than when modified. The reason why we kept our car and turned it into a race car was because it was bought for inventory, and I took it for a drive in the mountains, and I fell in love with it. And it was modified, but it wasn't heavily modified. And it was just so much fun. We've put a lot of effort into the car, and it is a lot faster now, but it is not as fun to drive as it once was on the small little tires, low horsepower. I just think it's a perfect combination. It is incredibly fun if you don't care about being faster than other people. If your car is about being fun for yourself, there isn't a lot better than this. So, to the damages now. The front bumper, this is the A2. It has kind of a scuffed area there and another scratch there. The rest of the bumper is generally okay. Retractable headlights, I put them in the up position because the car is just so adorable with the headlights up. And they do function properly. Just love the look of that. It's very reminiscent of the Bug Eye Sprite from like the 1960s. Okay. Coming down here, we're actually looking pretty good. The whole car looks like it's been repainted, but it doesn't bother me too much. All of this side is basically great. No signs of any rust or anything. The underside is in great condition. And here's the AU3 right here. So it looks like it's hit a curb trying to corner very tightly on the Japanese roads. A lot of corners are extremely tight with curbs that come up. And if you miss, then that kind of damage is fairly easy to accumulate here in Japan. There's a scratch right here. And a little bit of scuffing on the spat here, or the mud flap. Okay, the hard top. So hard tops in North America are extremely hard to find. Here in Japan, not so. They're a lot cheaper to get, and many of them have them already. This area here has had some sort of a repair done to it, so that's the uneven paint that they were talking about. There's also some more of that same kind of thing right here. And if you look at it closely, it's not that even. If you cared about it, you could repaint it, but it doesn't worry me that much at all. And it seems to make a proper seal. Ours didn't. Ours now has no roof at all. It just has a roll cage that's too big to put one of these roofs on. But this one seems to seal because there's no smell of rust, or, I'm sorry, not rust, mold inside the car. And then you got a bit of damage here. It's easy to damage these if you store them in a shed and then knock them over or something. They are fairly large. Fairly easy to take off. You just open these up, which this one's sealed. There's a screw in here. Take out that screw, and then you can slide this. And then you unclip there and unclip there and then pull it back and it's off. It takes two people to do it. You can do it with one person, but you got to be pretty strong to do it. And okay to possibly break things. Okay, have a quick peek at the underside here. This one has the extra bracing that you got with the 1.8. And yeah, clean looking. There you can see the Bilstein suspension. Proper shocks make a big difference if you're trying to do spirited driving. Or just refreshed shocks. And I don't know how old these ones are. It could be that they're done. You can still drive on them. It'd be probably fine. But if you notice them being a little bit loose, upgrading back to an original OEM shock can really do wonders, as opposed to like a cheaper aftermarket coilover set. Okay, this one here is a little bit shrunken, so it's supposed to go all the way to the edge. All right, on to the interior here. Just careful with the door. Okay, so the door cards have that extra piece of metal. It's cool. It's not going to make the car, but it is cool. There's your interior. It is a little on the tight side. I'd say that I'm 5'10". Fits me perfectly. Probably up to 6 feet is okay, but it depends on the shape of your body. Over that could be tight, but maybe still worth it, because these are some of the most fun cars in the world. Your rips. One here, and the leather is also quite hard. If it were my car, I know I'm not going to be everybody, but if it were my car, I would take these seats out and replace them with something sporty. There's a company called Escaletto that we got seats from, and they're fantastic. They are a perfect match for the Roadster. There is a, oh geez, what company is it? S2 Racing maybe? You use Escaletto base seats for their custom Miata seats, and they're really cool. So some wear on the edge of the steering wheel there, quite a bit, and that's a stock Momo steering wheel. These carpets are stock for this version. Check it out. There's a badge here. It says Contemporary Automobile Advance and Traditional Sports Car. So you get both the traditional sports car and the advanced sports car. That's cool. Okay. Quick look at the gauge. Oh, too sunny. AC works. The crack in our dashboard is right here. Fairly large one, sadly. And then a place where something was mounted. Hardtop roof is fine. This one has had some sort of a layer put on for sound deadening, which helps, but it is kind of a noisy car, especially at highway speeds. I've heard some people say that the hard top helps with structural rigidity. I'm not sure if it's true. I've also heard that you can get an aftermarket version of this that holds the chassis better when the door is closed, because this one is too soft. And people say that it actually is effective, and it's pretty cheap. Bilstein suspension, 1.8 liter engine, VR Limited B Special Edition. So you got that sticker there. I'll give you a little view of the trunk. We're almost done with the report here. Okay. The 5-speed manual in these shift really nicely. Better than the 6-speed in my opinion. And just, yeah, not much out there that's more fun than this. I drive a Lotus Elise right now as my personal car. It is better than a Roadster, but it's also more, like 5 times the price. And it's not definitely not 5 times better to drive. So yeah, probably needs a little bit of work here and there, but overall it's a good solid car. And good to see another Roadster going to somebody that I know is going to enjoy it. So there you have it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.